Good evening. With all the snow that accumulated over the winter, followed by the warmer weather, some communities in our region are struggling to keep the spring runoff at bay. The town of Maidstone declared a state of emergency over the weekend due to flooding in the area. Kim Smith was there today and has the details.
Combination of an excess of snow in fields and a quick thaw, not to mention a power outage this weekend, is making for a perfect storm in the town of Maidstone.
It's just more than our storm system can take.
The mayor says the holding pond rose 8 inches in just 20 minutes on Friday.
We have people that have been working around the clock for the last 3 days and will continue to do so. This is a holding pond here, and there's pools of water out in the field out there. We've diked it here, and we're pumping out of there.
To add insult to injury, the power went out Saturday evening for 3 hours due to a lightning storm, meaning many sump pumps stopped working. Dennis Stang and his wife Colleen own the Maidstone Motel and are thankful the town was able to stop the water from flooding their restaurant.
Flooded that ditch and then flooded that whole big lot there. All the trucks and trailers are sitting in water. That ditch over there was flooded.
He says the town hauled in pumps over the weekend.
And they pumped it across the highway and got it right down to the ground level again.
Maidstone residents say they haven't seen flooding this bad in the area for at least 8 years.
Lots of flooding, yeah. It come off onto that street from the farmer's land, and all ended up on the housing development there.
Oh, it's bad. Like, there's quite a few houses.
There's some residents that are completely underwater, like they need a boat to get to their house. It's pretty atrocious. I don't think we've ever seen so much fresh water just lying stagnant on the ground.
This is a bridge just south of Maidstone. The road's been closed since Saturday. That's when the area started flooding.
We're just asking their residents to be respectful of the workers that are out there and the equipment.
The state of emergency means the city can take advantage of extra help from provincial crews. It's in effect until May 3rd, but the mayor says the town will extend it if necessary.
We felt that, May 3rd would probably it should be through by then, but if it cools down and holds some of this water back again, you just don't know for sure.
Meantime, on Highway 16 leaving Maidstone heading towards Lloydminster, the water has risen up to the level of the road. As of Monday afternoon, the highway was down to 1 lane in each direction.
Normally our system takes the water and everything is fine, we don't have the problems, but definitely this year.
Kim Smith, Newcap News.
Meanwhile, the rural municipality of Wilton is asking for emergency help from the province as they too continue to deal with major flooding due to the spring thaw. Travel has been affected in the area as many roads are submerged by the spring runoff. A provincial liaison has been assigned to assess the problem.
We are talking right now with government officials and we continue to monitor the situation. But basically we're saying that we are out of resources. We don't have the capability internally to handle the problem that's hit here, and we're requesting government assistance.
Reeve Dow says crews are working long hours in order to help drain the excess water and help surrounding households, but it's already taking its toll.
We're looking for rig mats to make temporary bridges. We're looking for signage. We're completely out of that. We're sending gravel to ratepayers whose homes are threatened by floodwaters. And it's just sort of an emergency operation here going on pretty much 18 hours a day.
The County of Vermilion is also experiencing similar issues. Now, for an up-to-date list of road and bridge closures, you should visit the RM and County websites. An area toddler is fighting for her life in hospital after falling into a well. It happened Friday afternoon in a field near Highway 41, just south of Highway 28. Bonnyville RCMP say the well was about 10 feet deep and only 1.5 feet wide. It took emergency crews a few attempts to rescue the 2-year-old as the well was quite narrow. The child managed to hold herself up above the water for a bit before being submerged. They were able to get her out shortly after. She is recovering in an Edmonton hospital. Her condition is not known at this time. We will have an update on the situation tomorrow night on Newcap News. Multiple sclerosis is an unpredictable disease, and it can cause anything from impaired speech to fatigue to even paralysis. This weekend, the Border City held its annual MS Walk to help raise funds to fight the debilitating disease. Barb Petiasic reports.
With names of loved ones on their shirts and the spirit of charity on their backs, hundreds of walkers laced up their sneakers and took to the pavement this morning. This was Shelby Burton and her team's first time at the walk. The 19-year-old got involved after being diagnosed with the disease in February.
Mine comes in stages. But for right now, I have a physical weakness, so running and walking really exhausts me out. But other than that, I'd have loss of leg, so I'd fall from walking or tying my shoes, to extreme numbness and skin sensation, so water temperature really bothered me.
Luckily, Shelby was diagnosed early, but it was still a shock to her family.
Well, we couldn't believe it at first, and it took time to absorb the news, but then we found out through our doctor that this is something that we can live with, and so you just live day to day, the best you can with what you have.
Unfortunately, Shelby's story isn't uncommon. Many in the border city have friends or family members struggling with MS. The number of people that took the time to participate today speaks for itself.
Every year our walkers come out in full force here to really truly make that demonstration in their fight against MS. So inspiring and moving to see them coming out in such strong numbers.
Green says the number of registered walkers was unusually low over the last month, but the community was able to rally together over the last few weeks.
Right now we're right at around 400 walkers, which is just on the cusp of our 418 mark last year. So we're going to get there, I have faith. And right now the money is looking good. Lots of people turning in their dollars in the gym, so we're confident.
The Lloydminster MS Society hopes to raise at least $190,000. Half of the money raised from the walk will go towards MS research nationally. The rest will stay closer to home.
Approximately half of the funds stay right here in the local community to fuel programs and services for individuals and families touched with MS locally. So all sorts of supports in place so that they don't feel like they're in this fight alone.
It's those services that help families like the Burtons make it through the tough times.
Some of the medication that is out there for MS people that have to take it daily is extremely expensive. So funds to help families that don't have that is huge.
And while there is still no cure, Shelby says she won't let MS control her life.
With treatments and medication, I'm able to live a normal life and it won't affect me too much.
Bart Pediasic, Newcap News.
Organizers say they have raised a little more than $115,000, but there is more money coming in due to post-walk fundraising events. They expect to raise nearly $177,000 altogether. Now, anyone looking to donate can still do so by contacting the local MS chapter. Well, for some, this past weekend was spent in the backyard getting everything ready for summer. So you can imagine the surprise many people had when they woke up this morning and saw this, a winter wonderland. Some areas saw almost 5 centimeters of snowfall to the ground since late last night. Now, this definitely isn't the sight most people want to see, with just days to go until it's May.